Welcome back to math. Today we're going to be multiplying fractions again with mixed numbers. It's the mixed numbers edition. You can see at the top there's 10 slides, but I should be able to get through them pretty quick. All right, let's get this underway. Let's just do a quick review. What is 5 times 8? Hopefully you said 40. 6 times 9, 54. 4 times 7, 28. 3 times 5, 15. 2 times 9, 18. 10 times 4, 40. We're not doing fast facts anymore because of quarantine, but you could definitely be practicing these at home. Just regular multiplication, keeping it fresh in your mind is a good thing. All right, let's do some review on multiplying fractions with a whole number. When we do this, we have to either move the whole number to just the numerator, or we move the whole number and make it as a fraction. Now, when you put a 1 as the denominator, it just means holes. Not like holes in your pants, but whole pieces. It's not been broken up into anything. All right, so let's do these. 5 times 3 is 15, and the denominator is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 1 is 5. Now, you'll notice both of those are improper fractions. So what you can do is you can subtract a whole. Remember, a whole is going to be a numerator and denominator that are the same. They should be the same denominator that you're working with. So 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. Hopefully you got that. And then our denominator stays the same. So it's 1 and 7/8. 1 and 7/8. Apparently I can't write very small on here. For 8/5, we subtract 5/5 because 5/5 would be a whole, and we get 3/5. So the answer would be 1 and 3/5. Now what about 2 times 9/10? The whole number is first. That's okay. You can still make it a fraction. 2 times 9 is 18. And 1 times 10 is 10. It's an improper fraction, so let's subtract a whole. 10 tenths. 18 minus 10 is 8, and 10 is our denominator, so it is 1 and 8/10. Now, 8/10 can also be turned into 4/5, and we do that by dividing both of these by 2, okay? By 2. Let's try 5 times 1/4. So 5 times 1/4 is going to be 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. We need to subtract a whole because we have an improper fraction and we have 4/4. 5 minus 4 is 1, and our denominator stays 4, so we have 1 and 1/4. All right, hopefully that was review. Again, if you have any questions, I am always available 11 o'clock until 1 o'clock. Email me, text me, call me, video chat with me. I will help you out. All right, so we're going to jump into fractions times fractions. And this is actually my favorite part because it's the easiest, in my opinion. You just have to be careful with improper fractions and make sure that you are changing them into proper fractions or mixed numbers. So for multiplying fraction times a fraction, you literally just go across. So just make sure that you're being careful with your multiplication process and you should be fine, okay? So 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times 6 is 42, okay? Now here we have a proper fraction, but I noticed that both of them are even numbers. And something that's true about every even number is that you can divide it by 2. So we're going to divide both of these by 2, and we get 10 divided by 2 is 5, And 42 divided by 2 is 21. So our simplest form or reduced fraction is 5/21. For this quarantine purposes, if you get 4/10, I'll be super proud of 4/10. Where'd I get that from? If you get 10/42, I'll be super proud of you. All right, let's go on to the next one. 7 times 1 is 7. And 8 times 2 is 16. Now you can't divide both 7 and 16 by something, so that answer is in its simplest form. It is already reduced. All right, what's 5 times 3? 15. And 6 times 4? 24. Now, think carefully about these ones. I know one that could be that you can divide both of them by. Do you know? It's 3. So 15 divided by 3 and 24 divided by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. If you get 15/24, I'll be proud of you. Hopefully, though, you can challenge yourself to get to 5/8. Both of those represent the same amount. They are just written differently. All right, what about 8 times 4? 8 times 4 is 32. And 9 times 5 is 45. Both of those are set. It's a big fraction. Lots and lots of tiny pieces because it's divided into 45 different pieces, but that's in its simplest form, so we're good. Let's go to the next one. 10 times 3 is 30. And 11 times 8 is 88. Now, again, I noticed that both of these are even numbers, so I can divide both of them by 2. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. And 88 divided by 2 is 44. And now I have it in my simplest form. Again, either of these answers during this quarantine time are okay with me. What about 3 times 7? That's 21. And 5 times 9 is 45. Now, this one is a little bit more tricky, but you can divide both of these by the same number. Do you know what it is? It's 3 again. So 21 divided by 3 and 45 divided by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. We actually just went back on that one. And 45 divided by 3 would be 15. Hopefully you got that. Again, I'd be okay with either of those answers. So when you're doing a fraction by a fraction, you're just going straight across and you're multiplying. If you can simplify, simplify. I encourage you to try to simplify, especially if they're even numbers, because you can divide both of them by 2. All right, let's do a little bit more practice. Let me change my color to green, and we'll just go straight across. What's 1 times 3? 3. 2 times 4? 8. That's in its simplest form. 5 times 2? 10. 7 times 9? 63. That's also in its simplest form. 8 times 6? 48. And 9 times 10 is 90. Now this one's another one of those tricky ones. Those are both even numbers, so I can divide both of them by 2. And 48 divided by 2 is 24. And 90 divided by 2 is 45. All right, let's check the next one out. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 4 is 24. No, it's not. 8 times 4 is not 24. 8 times 4 is 32. And that's in its simplest form. Let's try the next one. 2 times 6 is 12. 5 times 7 is 35. That's in its simplest form. The next one is 3/7 times 4/10. What is 3 times 4? 12. And 7 times 10 is 70. Now, again, even though 70 has a 7 in it, which is an odd number, 7D is an even number, so we can divide both of these by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 70 divided by 2 is 35. So 12 70ths or 6 35ths, I'd be okay with. All right, let's carry on. All right, I've got one more that I want to do with you, and I want to show you something on this one. So we will do 11 eighths, which I know is improper, times 9 fifths, also an improper fraction. Okay, I'm doing this to set you up for the next part because you'll have to multiply improper fractions when you do mixed numbers. So again, go straight across. What is 11 times 9? 99. And 8 times 5 is 40. Now this fraction is considerably larger than the other ones that we were working with. And it's an improper fraction because 99 is bigger than 40. So we have to subtract some wholes. Let's subtract one whole here. 40 40ths. That's a whole because you have 40 out of 40. Okay? 99 minus 40, if you need to work it out, you can. But 99 minus 40 is 59. So we'll have 59 here, and our denominators are the same, so we can just leave them as 59 40ths. Now, you'll notice it's still an improper fraction, so we're going to yet again subtract 40 40ths. Okay, now 59 minus 40 is 19. So we're going to put 19 40ths. Now we have a proper fraction. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you count your holes that you had. So we had one hole here and one hole here. That's 2 holes. And the fraction amount that's left over is 19 40ths. So when you do 11 eighths times 9 fifths, your final answer is going to be 2 and 19 40ths. Okay, there'll be some more like that. I'm going to walk through some steps for the next part, but you'll see this again in a few slides. All right, let's carry on to slide 7. Now, we're going to be doing mixed number multiplication, and there's a process for this. It's 3 steps. You want to change the mixed number to an improper fraction. That's why we just did that. Then multiply straight across, and then simplify if you can. All right, we're going to do quite a few of these. I have 4 examples on my desk with me, plus a couple here. So let's change this mixed number to an improper fraction. The way you do that is first you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number. So 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, don't forget that. We'll write that right there, 10. Then you're going to add the numerator. Add the numerator. 10 plus 1 is 11. This makes our new fraction. 11 is going to be the numerator, and our denominator is going to stay the same. So 11 halves. Okay, that's what a 2 represents as halves. Now, let me show you. Let me go backwards with this one. If I had 11 halves, I could subtract wholes, right? We'll do 2 halves right there. That's a whole. 11 minus 2 is 9. And now we have 9 halves. Then we can subtract another whole, 2 halves, and we get 7 halves. We can do another one, minus 2 halves, and we get 5 halves. We could do another one, minus 2 halves, gives me 3 halves. And I'm going to try to squeeze it in, but we're going to do one more, and that gives me 1 half. Now, again, I'm going to count all of the holes that I had. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 wholes, and what was left over was 1/2. That's the exact same thing that we started with right there. Okay? So when you're changing a mixed number into an improper fraction, there are 2 steps. Multiply and then add. Don't forget to put the original denominator. Let's try another one. 3 and 6/7. So what we need to do here is, we're going to try 2 here. That's why there's a 2 up there. But 3 and 6/7. The first thing we're going to do is multiply. 7 times 3 is 21. And then we're going to add 6. 21 plus 6. What is 21 plus 6? Hopefully you got 27. So we'll have 27/7. Okay? Now here's where you would have to subtract the wholes again. 27/7 minus a whole would be 7/7 equals 27. We can subtract another whole, which is 7/7, and that gives us 13/7. And then we can subtract another whole, which is 7/7, and we get 6/7. Now, my fraction is now proper. It has a smaller number as a numerator, and I'm going to count the number of wholes that I had. 1, 2, 3. 3 wholes, and the leftover was 6/7. You can see that's the exact same number that we started with. So 7/27 is the improper fraction form of the mixed number 3 and 6/7. All right, let me erase this and we'll do one more, and then we'll jump into some practice. Let's make this one up off the top of my head. Let's do 4 and 3/7. Okay, so now again, we're going to do the steps. Remember, it's multiply and then add. Just two steps. Just 2 steps, and then don't forget to keep the original denominator. So the first one we're going to do is 7 times 4. 7 times 4 is 28. And then we're going to add 28 plus 3. 28 plus 3 is 31. I counted it out on my fingers. You can do it however you want. So we have 31, and our original denominator was 7. Now again, we have to subtract some wholes. So we start with 31/7, and we subtract 7/7. Okay? 31 minus 7 would be 24. 24/7. Then we're going to subtract another whole, and 24 minus 7, get that whole thing written out. 24 minus 7 is 17. Now we have 17/7, and we can subtract another whole. Minus 7/7 would give us 10/7. That's still an improper fraction, so we can do one more whole, and we'll get 3/7. Now, again, I'm going to need to count all of the wholes that I subtracted. I had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 wholes, and my leftover fraction was 3/7, and you can see it's the same as where we started. Okay, so just keep that process in mind on your assignment today. I will make sure to have that process listed for you, and hopefully you'll be able to use that process to get to the right answers. If you have any problems, call me, text me, face chat with me, video chat with me, call me, however you want to reach me, and I will help you through this the best that I can. Okay, that does not need to say change then multiply. I was getting them all prepared and forgot to erase that. Okay, so now what happens when we have mixed numbers? When we have mixed numbers, let's do 7 and 2/3 times 4/7. Now, we have a little bit of a hurdle here because we have a mixed number in there, so we can't just multiply straight across first. What we have to do is we have to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So again, the way that we do that is first we're going to multiply 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. And then we're going to add 21 plus 2. 21 plus 2 is 23. Okay? So now what we can do is we can make this an improper fraction. We have 23, and the original denominator was a 3 right there. 23/3. Okay? Now we can multiply that by 4/7. And again, we're just going to go straight across. So this one requires a little bit more work because you have to do 23 times 4. So I'm just going to squeeze that in down here. 23 times 4. 4 times 3 is 12. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. So we have 92. Our numerator is 92. And our denominator is going to be 3 times 7. 3 times 7 is 21. Now, we have an improper fraction. So like I've been saying, we can subtract wholes. A whole would be 21/21. Okay? Now, we do 92 minus 21, and we get 92 minus 21, we get 171. I like to work it out just to make sure. So 71/21. Then we can subtract another whole, 21/21, and 71 minus 21 is 0.50. So we still have an improper fraction of 50/21. The pen's not working there. We can subtract another whole, 21/21. 50 minus 21. I'm going to borrow from the 5. That makes it a 4. This makes that a 10. 10 minus 9 is, 10 minus 1 is 9. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. So that equals 29/21. Still an improper fraction. So we have to do one more 21/21, one more whole, and we get 8/21. Okay? Now, don't forget, go back and circle or count your wholes. Start at the very beginning. We had 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, that's a whole number. And our leftover fraction was 8/21. Now, that was a lot of work, right? Bear with me. I'm going to show you a quicker, easier way in a few. I want to do 2 more with you, and then I'm going to show you how you can do, I'm going to do 1 more with you like this, and then I'm going to show you 2 more in a way that you can do it a little bit quicker, okay? I wanted to show both ways because some people see it differently, and I want to make sure to get everybody there. So the answer to 7 2/3 times 4/7 is 4 8/21. Okay, I'm going to clear this off, hopefully. There we go. And we're going to do another one. This one is 3 4/5 times 1 3/4. 3/4. Okay. Now these are both mixed numbers, and they have different denominators. So we're going to have to do that process for both of them to make them into improper fractions. So 5 times 3 is 15. And then 15 plus 4 is 19. Okay. Now we have 19/5 because that's our original denominator. 3 4/5 is the same as 19/5. We're going to keep our multiplication sign. And now we're going to do 1 3/4. The very first thing we do is multiply. 4 times 1 is 4. That's a terrible 4, I'm sorry. 4 times 1 is 4. Apparently I can't write today. Let's try this one more time. 4 times 1 is 4. There we go. And then 4 plus 3 is 7. Plus 3 is 7. Okay, so now we have 7 as our new numerator, and we have fourths as our denominator. Now we can multiply straight across. So again here, this is a little bit more difficult because we have to do 19 times 7. I think you'll be fine though. I'm going to switch to green for this. 19 times 7. I'll do that right down here. 19 times 7. 7 times 9 is 63. And 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 6 is 13. So we have 133 as our numerator. And our denominator is 5 times 4, which is 20. Okay? Now, again, this is an improper fraction, so we're going to have to subtract some wholes from it. A whole is going to be 20 20ths. Now, 133 minus 20 is 113. And our denominator stays the same. It's still an improper fraction. So we can subtract another whole, which is 20 20ths. And 113 minus 20 is 93. 93 20ths. It's still improper, so we can do another one, 20 20ths. And that gives us 73 20ths. And I'm starting to run out of room here, which is why in the next couple of slides, I'm going to show you a quicker way of doing this. I'm going to slide this down and I'm going to rewrite 73 20ths here, and I'm going to subtract another whole, 20 20ths. That gives me 53 20ths. And I can subtract another whole, 20 20ths. That gives me 33 20ths. And then I can subtract another whole of 20 20ths. And I finally now get to 13 20ths. I finally have a regular fraction. So again, don't forget, go back and circle all of them from the very beginning, all the wholes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That took a lot of space, guys, a lot of space. While that's fine, as long as you can keep track, I'm going to show you in the next slide a little bit of a faster way. Don't forget your extra fraction, which is 13 20ths. And that is the answer. 3 4/5 times 1 3/4 would be 6 13 20ths. All right, so let me show you now a faster way of doing this. I want you to do what's ever most comfortable for you. Do whichever one you're getting the right answers for. Don't worry about picking one just because you think it's the one I want you to do. I'm showing you both so that you have an option to do both. Okay, let's look at 5 1/3 times 3 1/2. Again, both of these are mixed numbers, so you're going to want to use the process of multiplying, then adding to make these improper fractions. So let's start with 5 1/3. 3 times 5 is 15. And 15 plus 1 is 16. Plus 1 is 16. Now our new fraction is 16 thirds, okay? Then we can do the same thing. I'll switch over to green for this one. 2 times 3 is 6. And then 6 plus 1 is 7. Our new fraction is 7 halves. Now, we can multiply these together. Do 16 times, switch to red, 16 times 7 first. 16 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. And 7 times 1 is 7. Plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we have 112 as our numerator. And 3 times 2 is 6. This would be so much work if we did minus 6, 6, minus 6, 6, minus 6, 6. And it's going to get really boring, right? Well, let me show you a way that we can do this. I'm going to now turn this into a division problem. Try not to stress out. If the other way works better for you, do the other way. But I'm going to put 112 as my dividend, and 6 as my divisor. So how many times can 6 go into 1? None. So I'll put a little X right there. How many times can 6 go into 11? Hopefully you said once. So I'm going to put a 1 here. 1 times 6 is 6. 11 minus 6 is 5. 6 can't go into 5, so I'm going to drop the 2. And how many times does 6 go into 52? Hopefully you said 8. 8 times 6 is 48, and I can subtract that. 52 minus 48 is 4, 12, 4 is 4. Now, your entire answer is here. I took this improper fraction, turned it into a division problem, and your entire answer is here. Your entire answer is 18 wholes, 4 pieces out of 6 pieces. Okay, so this is your whole number, whole. This is your numerator, and this is your denominator. Okay, this, in my opinion, is nice because it goes by so fast. So fast. You just have to remember which parts are which. So whole number is here, numerator is here, and denominator is in the divisor spot. Okay, let's do another one that looks like that, and then I'll be done. Again, if any of this confuses you, get a hold of me. I'd be more than happy to work with you. I'm just generally not available on the weekends, but I'm pretty available every other day. All right, let's do this one. 6 times 3 and 1/4. Okay, so here, the whole number, that's the easy part. We're going to just change that into a fraction. 6 as a fraction is going to be 6 wholes, or 6 ones, times, and now we're going to do our same process of multiply, then add. 4 times 3 is 12, and then 12 plus 1 is 13. So we have 6 ones over 13 fourths. And I'm getting that 4 from there. Remember, keep it as original as you can. Now, we can just go straight across here. 6 times 13. Well, let me do that out real quick. 6 times 13 is the same as 13 times 6. So 6 times 3 is 18. And 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 78, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay? Now, this one is not as big as the last one, but still, it's going to be a lot quicker to do it as a division problem to get your whole answer, instead of doing minus 4/4, minus 4/4, minus 4/4, okay? So let's do 78 goes inside the bracket. 4 goes outside the bracket, and now we solve it as usual. 78 comes from there, 4 comes from there, okay? How many times does 4 go into 7? Once. 7 minus 4 is 3. You can't do 4 divided by 3, so we're going to drop down the 8. And 4 goes into 8 how many times? 4 goes into 8 9 times. And 9 times 4 is 36. And 38 minus 36 is 2. Now, everything you need is here. This, your quotient, is your whole number, 19. Your remainder is your numerator, 2. And your denominator is your divisor, fourths. This could also be written as 19 1/2. Okay? So please, please, please do what's best for you. Try your best. If you need help, reach out to me and I will do my best to help you. Okay? Good luck.